The year was 2011. The movies Drive, 50/50, and Midnight in Paris were playing in cinemas. The songs Pumped Up Kicks, Video Games, and We Found Love were playing on the radio. People were playing newly released games like Skyrim, Battlefield 3, Terraria, Portal 2, and Minecraft. And somewhere in the state of North Carolina, Mr. Beast, who was 12 years old at the time, was fighting against a hacker in a Facebook game called Battle Pirates. While explosions were going off all around Mr. Beast, he hit the record button and captured what was happening on his computer screen. After the hacker sailed into the sunset, leaving behind a base going up in flames, Mr. Beast stared at his computer screen, wondering what to do with the footage he recorded. He decided to upload it to YouTube, and it reached around 1,000 views. Seeing that amount of views for his first video must have felt like a call to an adventure, because after that he spent almost a year uploading videos. But 1 year after his first video, Mr. Beast felt stuck. He had one channel for Call of Duty videos and a second channel for Minecraft videos. But his Call of Duty channel was not growing well, so he began to do subscriber for subscriber. After gaining many subscribers in such a way, he soon realized all those new subscribers were inactive, meaning that they only subscribe, but they don't watch the videos. Feeling frustrated, Mr. Beast decided to delete that channel and take a break from YouTube. That could have been the end. But he returned. And 9 years later, Mr. Beast has over 60 million subscribers. He raised $21 million to plant 20 million trees. He gave $1 million worth of food to people in need. He gave $200,000 to people who lost their jobs. He gave a homeless man a home. The list goes on. But all of those things would not have happened if he had made one specific decision when he took that break from YouTube. The decision to fully give up on himself. You can think of Mr. Beast's achievements like they are the hundreds of branches of a tree, and you can think of the decision to fully give up on yourself as if it's like chopping down a young tree by its root, and thus not letting those hundreds of branches come into existence. That is not to say that all Mr. Beast had to do to become successful was to believe in himself. But it is to say that all of it would not have happened if he had fully given up on himself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you are unlikely to even begin the journey towards a goal. And if you do begin the journey towards a goal, despite not believing in yourself, you are more likely to give up when the obstacles inevitably come. You are less likely to fight as hard as you potentially could while facing an obstacle. You are less likely to get back up if the fight against the obstacle pushes you to the ground. Does this mean that Mr. Beast fully believed in himself? No. I imagine Mr. Beast had many self-doubts, and I imagine he may still have self-doubts. Perhaps self-doubts that go so deep, nobody but him can see. But there is a difference between having self-doubts and fully giving up on yourself. Despite his self-doubts, Mr. Beast returned to YouTube, kept overcoming obstacles where giving up on himself might have seemed as tempting as letting go of a heavy dumbbell, and he found success. Some might say this is a saddening thought, because despite success, you may still have self-doubts. But I say it is an encouraging thought, because despite self-doubts, you may still have success. Here is another encouraging thought. Obstacles in life are inevitable. How is that encouraging? It is encouraging because it means that you feeling stuck does not necessarily mean you have no potential, and it does not mean you should give up on yourself. Perhaps you should give up on a specific thing that is stopping you from reaching your goal, and you should choose a better goal if you realize your current goal is a false goal. But there is a difference between doing that and giving up on yourself. Knowing that obstacles are a likely part of a journey towards a goal is a crucial thing to know, because those who don't know it might immediately think there is something inherently wrong with them. They might immediately think they don't have potential when they meet an obstacle and feel stuck. Depending on the situation, that can be like thinking there is something wrong with a video game because the enemy NPCs are difficult to defeat, or becoming increasingly more difficult to defeat, and thus quitting the game. Meanwhile, an experienced gamer who knows that the obstacles and the increase in difficulty is normal is more likely to keep going because they translate those things as normal, and depending on the situation, even as an indicator that they are moving in the right direction. Depending on the situation, you can view obstacles as quests or enemy NPCs in an RPG. In such a game, XP is what you need to level up your character. XP means experience point. If a quest or an enemy NPC is easy because its level is lower than the level of your character, then it gives you little XP, if any at all. If a quest or an enemy NPC is challenging because its level is higher than the level of your character, then it gives you a lot of XP. Treat the correct real-life obstacles the same way, and you can begin to level up. To always run away from obstacles in real life is a lot like always running away from challenging quests and NPCs in an RPG, and as a result, not grinding XP, not leveling up, and likely forever being stuck in the starter zone. So don't be discouraged when facing an obstacle that stands between you and your rightful goal. You have more potential than you know. And overcoming obstacles on the journey towards a rightful goal makes you wiser and mentally stronger. And becoming wiser and mentally stronger is you leveling up in real life. And I mean specifically overcoming an obstacle, not just suffering from it. It is an important distinction to make, because some might say they have suffered from obstacles and as a result they are not stronger but even weaker than before. That's because only suffering from an obstacle is not the same as overcoming it. Leveling up happens when you overcome the obstacle, not just suffer from it. Suffering from an obstacle but not overcoming it is much like losing to the same dragon in an RPG again and again and never defeating it. That does not give you XP. Overcoming an obstacle, not just suffering from it, is like defeating that dragon. Now it gives you the treasured cards. Now it gives you the XP that progresses you towards leveling up. You might think, but I am afraid. To that, I will quote Joseph Campbell, who said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." You might think, but don't you first have to become successful before you can believe in yourself? Though success can increase belief in yourself, it is more useful to look at it the other way around. If you don't believe in yourself, you are less likely to find success because you are less likely to even begin the journey towards it. And you are less likely to keep going when the obstacles inevitably come. But But if you believe in yourself first, you are more likely to find success. When I look back at the things I achieved success with, I see that first I believed in myself, and then came success. And when success came, my self-belief increased. It is like a positive feedback loop. But what does believing in yourself even mean? Let's return to that Joseph Campbell quote. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Imagine the treasure is guarded by a dragon, and you are preparing your journey to the cave and into the cave. What does believing in yourself mean then? To believe in yourself does not mean believing success is guaranteed or easy. It does not mean believing you don't have to work hard and smart. That kind of thinking leads to slowing down, settling with yourself, and it leads to wasting potential, wasting time, and eventually wasting your life. To believe in yourself means to think, if the goal is right, I will begin the journey towards it and continue it even when the shadows of obstacles are cast over me. Not because I think success is guaranteed or easy, but because if the goal is right, then it is the right thing to do. Then it is better than the alternative. And because, despite my self-doubts, despite my flaws, despite my fears, despite my stupidity, despite the time and the potential I have already wasted, I have the potential to reach that goal, to reach that treasure, or a map that leads to a different treasure, a treasure that is perhaps better for me. And the obstacles will not only give me scars, if they will give me any scars at all, but also growth, wisdom, and strength as rewards when I overcome those obstacles. Self-belief does not mean lack of fear. Self-belief means planning and action despite fear. When it comes to potential, a lot of people are like a low-level character playing an RPG for the first time and finding it difficult to even imagine how good they can become and how much they can achieve if they keep grinding XP to level up. They are like a small young tree who does not yet realize the height they could reach with the hundreds of branches that have yet not come to existence. If they would only not stop themselves from growing by lacking the combination of self-belief, hard work, and smart work. You can't change the beginning of the book that is your life, but you can still change where it is going. You can still change the ending. Those chapters have not yet been written. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live.